although there was not much on the scoreboard then. But when it's time to take on the bowlers, they are very capable. And the man that's asking for his cap at the moment, Faisal, probably one of the best doing that for Qatar. So looks like Ilyas is done after his first over going for 19 runs. Brings on Jandu Hamoud, slow left arm bowler, which probably is not a bad option at this point. Just try and take the pace off, and that's probably the safest place you could hit a ball that's straight back over the bowler's head. That's 6 runs. Don't think that was a bad delivery, but just a really good shot there by Faisal. Faisal now sitting on 24 for just 7 balls, 3 fours, 2 sixes, strike rate 342. And wow, that is just an amazing catch. Faisal will be disgusted because of all the shots. He gets a full toss, rank full toss, hits it straight. Well, not really straight, but took a really good catch to get rid of him. Probably didn't hit as hard as he wanted to, but a fantastic catch there. I mean, diving to his right, mid-air, parallel to ground. And it's half chances like this that can turn a game. And one would think if Faisal had stuck around for the next 4 or 5 overs, that Qatar, they could have really taken off a big chunk of the score as they head into the non-power play overs. But having said that, Jandu Hamoud's done the job for his skipper, and that was just a fantastic catch there by Shiraz Khan. And Kuwait now can probably really happy to see the back of Faisal. And next batsman in is Awais Malik. You know? All right. Beg your pardon, that's the captain, Imamul Haq. Not to be confused by the current Pakistani player, although both of them are countrymen. Former first-class player from Pakistan himself, Imamul Haq. Batted really well against Nepal in the chase. Very mature innings, while the rest were trying to hit out. He just used his strengths and once again playing that shot so well off his feet, which he did against Nepal as well. Just a very cool, calm, collected, very experienced campaigner, Imamul Haq. And just gives the Qatari batting lineup a bit of composure, and probably will play anchor at this point as the rest try and hit out. He'll just try and get the singles and dispatch the balls that he feels can put away. It's well bowled, probably pitching on leg stump, leg by, and that goes for 4. Really quick outfield. Sunny day today, 2 overcast days prior. The field looks greener after the rain, but it's still not slowed down this outfield. 43 for 1. 2 balls to go from Jandu Hamoud. Well bowled, but that's going to be a wide. For a moment there, just thought maybe it would have flicked his pads. Well kept by the keeper. Still got 2 deliveries to go. And a full toss, and is this full toss going to get him another wicket? And it has. You've got to, 2 really good catches, but 2 full tosses for those wickets. And it's interesting how Jandu Hamoud, who's bowled some pretty decent deliveries, has been dispatched, but when he's bowled 2 full tosses, he's taken 2 Qatari wickets, and another good catch there. down a deep mid wicket. He had to run back over his head and held that really, really well. So that's put Qatar on the back foot again at 44 for 2 in this chase, while the run rate's pretty decent of just 3 overs. The 2 early wickets has probably just put a bit of a dampen on the chase. Still, they've got a long batting lineup, guys who really swing from the hips, so anything is possible. So that brings Mohammad Tanveer into bat next for Qatar. He'll join Inamul Haq in the middle. Qatar 44 for 2 of 2.5 overs, beg your pardon. And last ball, 2 full tosses, taken wickets for Kuwait. And there's another full toss. This time it's cleared over. Shot, fine leg, goes for 4, but you would think that if the fine leg was back on the boundary, that would have been another wicket off full toss. Just looking for a no ball sign, no ball signalled, and that's the over. 48 for 2, off 2, of 3, beg your pardon, and is now left to Inamul Haq, you would think, to try and settle down this Qatari innings, and they've had a good start in scoring 48 of 3 overs. Still 3 overs of power play to go. You would think they will like to hit the 60-65 mark, just to take a good chunk of the runs in the power play when the batting conditions suit the batter, with the only allowing 2 fielders out the 30-yard. And taking advantage of the ball when it's still new and hard. So another change of bowling for Kuwait. They've already used 3 bowlers in just the first 3 overs. Well played. Got a bit too straight, but safe shot. Down to fine leg just for the single. And that's Mohammad Ahsan who's come on for his first over of this match. 1 off the first ball. Inamul Haq on strike. You'd feel that, knowing the style of play that Inamul Haq possesses, he'll probably try and work this into gap, and if this was anywhere in his range, he's probably going to look to dispatch it. That's ball rising very sharply. I wouldn't say sharply, but probably just a bit of a slower bounce. Very early in his pull shot, just hits it to deep mid wicket for a single, and brings Tanveer back on strike. And that brings up the 50 for Qatar for loss of 2. Bowled. And good start to Ahsan's over. Worked away to deep mid wicket just for another single. And Kuwait will probably need this just to calm the nerves a bit, because as much as there's 198 on the board, Qatar have done a sterling job of bringing the score to 50 of just 3 overs, although losing 2 wickets probably not in their favour. Well bowled again, just really good areas, simple, a good length, all 3 balls apart from the shorter one, but 3 balls prior. Very well bowled. Just has enough of pace, and maybe just not enough pace, in trying to work the ball away. That is a fantastic shot. Shot ball outside off stump. Dispatched by the ever reliable Inamul Haq. Square cut. Over the top. 4 runs. And sometimes it's just about keeping things simple. Not trying to overdo things. And Hassan was bowling well at that point just by keeping it on a good length. Outside off and comes back, and that's an inside edge, and that's probably going to make its way for 4. No, it hasn't. It's been fielded there by Ilyas, and that's the over. 56 for 2. Run rate slowed down a bit, but probably a much better over, bowled by Mohammad Hassan as compared to the rest of his fellow bowlers. So Jandu Hamoud back into bowl, and beg your pardon, Ilyas has come back on after his first over conceding 19, probably captain feeling that he needs to use his left arm bowler earlier rather than later, so bowling to Inamul Haq. Another inside edge, and that's gone for 4. Fortune favours the brave, and that's Kashif, captain for Kuwait, must be pulling his hair out, because even the good deliveries now are going for boundaries, and they've already hit the 60 mark. And as I mentioned before, taking a big chunk of this imposing target in the power play can only be a good thing for Qatar, and they've done a really good job in having 60 on the board already. That's a great shot. Shows the quality of Inamul Haq there. Just a lofted cover drive over the 30 yard, and off a ball that you wouldn't say was pitched in a very bad area. So Ilyas has been quite unfortunate in that he's been now being dispatched to the boundary of some pretty decent deliveries, but that's the name of the game. And Inamul Haq, calm and composed as always, a good sense of assuredness, tends to know his game, knows what his strengths are. And that's just what's needed at this level. Somebody very experienced campaigner. And let's see how he structures his chase. That's short and wide, cut and well fielded there by Point. That's funny how Ilyas's first 2 balls were really good. Found its way to the boundary, while the ball that wasn't that flash didn't go for a boundary. So what's Ilyas going to do now? What's a good area to bowl to Inamul Haq? That's better for him. Just prodded through to cover. Not much foot movement there from Inamul Haq. I don't think that will bother him too much. These Qatari batsmen can just look over to the scoreboard and feel that having 64 runs on the board at this point, it's just a very encouraging sign. And inside edge again, and this time stopped by the keeper. A true smile on his face, It's hard to get a sense of what Kuwait are sensing or feeling about this so far. They might feel a bit aggrieved that there have been a few lucky shots that found their way to boundaries, but having said that, they've not belled the best as well, and Qatar have done really well to put away the deliveries that didn't find the mark. Trying to pull that, not a bottom edge, I'd say. And Elias is done. So not as free scoring as the last 4 overs. Takes Qatar to 64 for 2. Last over of power play coming up, and if you want to get into the heads of the Qatari batsmen, you'd feel that they will be talking about maybe trying to maximize this over, depending on who's coming on to bowl. It'll be Hassan again. If they could get about 15 runs off this over, you would think that Qatar now would have turned the tables and in this chase, and with the batting they have in hand. Bowled, just punch into the point region, well fielded, back in. Kuwait need a lift. They need to understand that this over is really, really crucial. Need to keep things quiet, then be allowed to use the field after the power play to try and stem the flow of runs. Again, a bit too straight, and that's 4 runs. Bit too straight, down leg, very, very strong in that region, Tanveer, and has made him pay. So Tanveer, who's been really rather quiet, have only faced four balls, but he's already on 6 runs, been given a bit of a gift by Mohammad Hassan. Discipline's key here, and Hassan's got to understand that this over of his is probably what's going to determine Qatar's chase. If they can keep this quiet and try and keep this under 80 at this point. Well bowled, much better. Bowling to the field, and that's what it's all about, just keeping it simple. As much as Qatar's lost 2 wickets, that's a very big score on the board in the 6th over, and saying that's taken out a big chunk of this chase. That's gone off to deep mid wicket just for the 1, and 69 for 2. 3 balls to go. Mohammad Hassan, 1.4 overs, 13 runs conceded. Short. And that's well played, but it finds the fine leg who's come around to field that pretty well. Again, Hassan, this with his tendency to want to bowl that shorter ball when he's better off just keeping it up to the bat where he has so far on a good length, and probably grateful that Inam didn't get hold of that. It's a slower ball, well bowled, really well bowled, and probably an area of the game that Inam Haq no longer possesses in the quick single, the veteran for Qatar cricket. So very safe in saying that he would have turned down that single even before it was played. 6 overs, 70 for 2, 128 runs required. You think Qatar are in the better position now, and very happy with how things have started. Shamal, what do you think?
But it's turning out to be an excellent game of cricket. Tanveer and the dangerous Inamul Haq still in for Qatar. Wonderful start given, fueled by some jet fuel by Faisal Javid. 24 off 8 balls, 2 towering sixes, 3 boundaries. I think this partnership will hold the key for Qatar. Kuwait, on the other hand, be looking to strike a few quick blows. Very close first up. Amanullah. The double O there, sending one wide. Flighted it. Namul unable to drill it. Direct hit, almost could have ricocheted easily off for a single, but none added to the total. One seems to be sliding down the leg side. 2 umpires, Buddhi Pradhan, Viswanathan Kalidas, 2 very experienced men adjudicating this match. The match referee, Mr. Manu Nair. Namul Haq drills it down to long off for a single. This is going to be a good contest.
A full toss again. Full tosses have worked really well for Jandu Hamoud in his first over because both full tosses took a wicket. This time he's just been dispatched for a 4.
I think the law of averages caught up with him.
Yes.
You bowl left arm over the wicket meat pies, you will get hit sooner or later.
Yes, and Qatar will feel really, really good about themselves and having taken off such a big chunk of the chase in the power play. Although they've lost 2 wickets, but you do feel that at this point the pressure has been transferred on to Kuwait.
The end of 7 overs. Qatar 76 for the loss of 2. On track, you would say.
Yeah, and more importantly, somebody like Inamul Haq in there in the middle just gives he almost doesn't seem flustered. Just so calm and collected, very assured, knows his game. That's just years of experience and being a former first-class cricketer as well. And you can see he's so composed, and that sort of helps the demeanor of his partner out there as well. And he probably has standing instructions on what the partner has to do.
He's making use of all that experience. I'm sure he's been in this situation many a times. Been very impressed the way he's been bowling in the power plays and also with his batting, controlling the innings. The only one aspect which leaves a chink in the armour is the running between the wickets.
Yes. Well, having said that, he is getting on the years. Must have been a lot fitter in his day, I would suppose. But and that's what's so great about a player like Inamul Haq. He knows what his strengths are, and he utilises them to about almost 120%, and that makes up for the failings of other parts of his game. Looks like a new bowler in for Kuwait. And that will be Aslam coming in for his first over.
On the money straight away. Mohammad Aslam, number 17, left arm orthodox from the Serangoon Road end. Tell you what, the wicket's played beautifully.
Yes, it has. It's probably nullified a lot the left arm spinner's capabilities as well. Although having said that, I don't think Hamoud did himself any justice bowling full tosses. But with that newer ball on this wicket, you don't think the left arm spinner is going to get as much turn off the wicket or much grip. So it's better off just angling it in as much as you can, which he probably is doing there right now.
That's the whole poetic beauty about this game of cricket. Perhaps his worst two deliveries gave him the best two results.
Yes, it was, and it got rid of the very dangerous Faisal, who just launched into his innings and got Qatar off to the best of starts. You would think that if he was still there, he'd still be hitting them all over the park.
Tanveer and Inamul Haq content rotating the singles, ensuring that they consolidate and further build on this wonderful start the openers have given them. Yes, Faisal seemed to have had a few Red Bulls. He was on wings this morning.
Yes, he was ruthless.
Inamul Haq trying to guide it down to short third man. Aslam bowling to a short third man, backward point, cover, sweeper cover, and a long off on the offside. Looks to guide that one down the leg side.
Don't think he's going to get much joy with his LBW appeals, because I think his line is more very straight down and probably pitching on leg.
At the end of 8 overs, Qatar 78 for the loss of 2. The command center here. Beehive of activity, journalists, media personnel, the crowd slowly building up as we approach lunch. A beautiful Friday afternoon here in Singapore. It's been sunny and bright, and the cricket has been absolutely trailblazing.
Where do you think Qatar have to be at the 10 over mark to make this chase? As much as it feels that Qatar in control, there is still a bit of scoreboard pressure.
I think they'll just look to continue, and these two batsmen, they'll look to be there deep into the innings, around the 15th over mark, and that would enable Qatar, I feel, to chase this total down, because there's no demons in the wicket. And Kuwait, on the other hand, to feel comfortable, they'll need to keep picking wickets at a regular interval.
Yes, I do feel at this point, you look at the field and you think that possibly half the Kuwaiti fielders out there feel that they're not in that bad a situation, but probably the other half that are feeling a bit nervous.
It's wide signal there by Akali. Once again, punted to deep backward square leg.
This is actually turning out to be a pretty decent over by the young Hamoud.
I love his selection of numbers. 0. Seems to be one. He's not too bothered with such things.
That's probably hoping for the number of runs that he'll be conceding, 0. But
absolutely.
Not really the case.
Looks like Meet Bavsar there, doing patrolling duties at deep backward square leg. Possesses a good arm, sends in a flat return.
Do you feel that if Tanveer kept his shape, he'd probably be hitting those balls a lot better? Strong guy. And that's a good shot. But with the field back,
drilled down to long off. Yes, I think you should back yourself to hit straight, given the dimensions of this field. Short, straight boundaries. These Qatari batsmen are absolutely power-packed.
It's well bowled. He's bowled a really good over.
That's a good bit of fielding off his own bowling. Bowlers hate conceding runs off their own bowling. I'm yet to meet a charitable bowler. Adnan Idris fielding at long on, played a beautiful hand, scored a half century. It's again forced off the back foot.
That's a no ball. It's overstepping, and that's after all the hard work of bowling a really good over, he's overstepped, no ball, and you don't want to be giving a free hit to these Qatari batsmen. So Kali Das, the umpire, showing where he'd gone over the mark.
Hamoud Damanullah committing the crime, overstepping as a slow bowler. It's unacceptable.
Takes the shine off of what could have been a very good over. Just kept it to singles, and now he's got to concede a no ball and a free hit.
Field changes as the batsman crossed during that. Now Inamul Haq on strike for the free hit. He's launched it straight to long on, and they didn't bother taking a single.
Yeah, which I've got to say that was pretty ordinary. They should have at least taken a single, because every run's going to matter.
Yeah, I mean, Inamul Haq's an experienced cricketer, but I'm sorry to say his running between the wickets is just rubbish.
Yes, that's not the best. And
in a T20 international, every run matters, is gold dust, and you cannot be casual about your approach.
Exactly. Even if free hit doesn't find the boundary, at least you know that you can get a single somewhere. Everyone's on the defensive, trying to stop the runs, and if they were to lose by one run today, they should look back on that one moment.
If Qatar loses by one run today, Inamul Haq would be facing the firing squad.
Pretty sure he would be.
They will shoot him with blanks, so it wouldn't kill him, but it would hurt.
That was poor. I mean, not something that you want to see too much happen in T20 cricket, because this is a big score that they're trying to chase down. You can understand if it was just 120 like they did against Nepal, they became selective in their running.
Well, Kuwait and Qatar seem to have decided to have a little refueling session in between the match.
Don't think the umpires are too pleased about that. I don't think they were expecting this.
Well, it seemed to be a coordinated distribution of drinks.
Yes.
I think they're facing a different heat down here in Singapore. It's very humid. The boys from the Middle East, they're used to a much drier heat. Umpire Kalidas letting them know this is not on.
Right.
Punted to long off for a single. Mohammad Aslam continuing to bowl a very good line and length here.
It just looks like both the left arm spinners have found their stride, because full tosses have disappeared, although they did work in taking wickets. But he's bowling a really good pace, spearing it into, and that might be a catch. Nope.
Just a single.
And he's bowled really well. I think he's kept both these very able batsmen quiet, spearing into the pads. Minimal turn, but left armer's angle always difficult to face up to.
Yes, Kuwait wouldn't mind the singles at this moment. That looked pretty close. Buddhi Pradhan, the best position to judge, says not out.
Probably pitching leg, and with the lack of turn, maybe even going down, continuing to go around leg.
Yes, Mohammad Aslam bowls from wide of the crease, creates a big angle. Seems to be going down the leg side more often than not. Good decision.
Smart bowling too, because that's where it's hardest to put away if you get it right. There you go.
Looks much closer, and he's given him. That's the end of Tanvir. Runner ball 16. Aslam making the adjustment in line this time. And we're going right across it. Pays the price. This time the umpire Buddhi Pradhan has no doubt about it. That was hitting middle stump halfway up.
I put that down to the over before as well, where they kept things quiet, and all of a sudden the Qataris, who like to have a bit of a swing, probably felt the need to try and look for a shot, manufacture a shot.
I tell you what, I met a few Nepali supporters at the hotel, and there's a lot of people south of the Everest cheering Kuwait on.